I've been looking for an excuse to talk about Hi-Fi Rush once again, and it looks like now we have that excuse. The Hi-Fi Rush Twitter page officially released that there is now an update for the game as well as a DLC pack. I wanted to do this for the first big update that they had, which was the photo mode and a couple of other bug patches and glitches, but there wasn't really anything like substantial about it that I felt like I could talk about or really add anything to. This update, however, has some things that I really like and some things that I really dislike. So I think it's appropriate that I just go through it, give my thoughts, and like I said, I just have an excuse to talk about Hi-Fi Rush again. Before we get started with talking about that though, if you have not watched my Hi-Fi Rush coverage, I will have links down in the description below, as well as put like a card thing up here for you guys to click on as well. So let's get started with the patch notes. So here it is. Hey there, rock stars. Hi-Fi Rush's third update introduces additional quality of life features and squashes a few pesky bugs. Plus, the Bossplay Costume Pack is now available for purchase. So real quick, just to get started, so here is the actual Bossplay Costume Pack. We have Chai as Kale, we have Peppermint as Rekka, 808 as Rockford, Macaron as Mimosa, we have Corsica as Zanzo, and we have Cinnamon as Corsica. So first of all, I really like all these costumes. I think this is a really neat idea. On a quick side note though, I know how meta this game loves to be, and even though I'm glad that Corsica gets a Zanzo costume and Cinnamon gets a Corsica costume, I feel like it would be even better if they were reversed. So Cinnamon gets the Zanzo costume, but then Corsica just gets a Corsica costume because she's also a boss, but also a character in the crew here. And I'm just imagining a scenario where like everyone else has all these cool costumes and Corsica's just sitting there like this with her arms crossed and she has a pout on her face that she couldn't get one because she's also a boss character. I just think that would have been really funny. I'm cool that she actually gets an alternate costume, but I just think with like, you know, the next level meta thing, that would have been a really fun addition to have. Also, just checking on the Steam store real quick, you can see that the Bossplay Costume Pack is a $5 purchase. Okay, up next, the quality of life updates. So 2D rhythm game assist located in the accessibility menu. Available only on easy and normal difficulties, this feature offers a wider window of success for timed inputs. Know that the frames added for successful inputs vary based on the BPM of the music playing during that track. And missed inputs will still allow for players to complete the rhythm game instead of instantly failing. Players must input at least 70% of the correct inputs to succeed. This is really interesting because I thought that this was in the game before, just as like, you know, based on like assumption of easy and normal difficulty settings. But I like that this is available, but it's also an option so you can turn it off if you want to. Like I said, very nice that they added this. I'm curious to see like how many people were struggling on this particularly, or if this is just something that they kind of thought of after the fact, but I really like this. And the events that this feature includes apply here. So the generators found in track 1 and track 3, destroying the AR lenses in track 4, activating the data nodes in track 5, and destroying the barrier in track 11. So like I said, this is really interesting because I was actually curious myself to see what would happen if you did fail any of these at all and like didn't get it at 100%. Okay, so up next we have auto rhythm parry. So available once again on easy and normal difficulty settings. Pressing and holding the button for the first action in a forced parry event or dodge will allow Chai to automatically parry or evade subsequent actions in the event. So missing the initial action is okay, so long as players press and hold the input for the subsequent action. A player must still parry most attacks, approximately 70%, to succeed in these game events. In a rhythm parry attack, players must still press attack or parry to the beat hit prompt to deal the finishing blow. This action can be used on rhythm parry attacks for regular enemies and bosses, the Vurev's grab attacks that require dodging, and lasers that require parrying to destroy. So please note that the 2D rhythm game assist and auto parry are only available on easy and normal difficulty modes. So once again, making the parry system a little bit easier for the easy and normal difficulty settings, and again, optional thing for people who are having trouble with it, but basically giving you the ability to actually press and hold the button after the first parry action instead of actually timing the beat hits, not to be confused with the actual beat hits that are in the game and labeled as beat hits, will allow you to automatically parry and evade those. So basically, as long as it's within that set action, like if it's parry, 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 like if you just hold parry the entire time, you'll be fine. Or if you have to switch it to dodge, you can probably hold parry and then hold dodge in those times and then hold parry again. So, collectible information. The stage select screen now displays how many collectibles you have found in each stage. If there are no collectibles of a certain type in this particular stage, it will be displayed 0, 0. Again, surprised this wasn't in the game already, but good to know to see how many collectibles you're actually missing. And completed collectibles in a level will display a green checkmark on the stage select screen. So like I said before, I really like this too because, again, I'm surprised it wasn't in the game already. And there are ways to see where like you're missing the collectibles. Like if you're missing a graffiti thing, you can go to the graffiti thing and see like, oh, you're missing this on like 3 on track 1 and 4 on track 2 or whatever. But having it in the actual stage select screen is really nice. And so here are the bug fixes. So during the second phase of the battle with Rockford, an issue was fixed whereby certain actions would cause the user to fall into the abyss, making it impossible to progress. That's really funny, and I've never seen this before, but that would really suck for somebody to fall to the abyss in the middle of fighting this actually difficult boss too. So here's the bug fix that I'm not a fan of, and I'm going to explain this. So an issue was fixed in track 1 where the player could use the crusher obstacle to be pushed outside of the world. So at the very beginning of track 1, there's a section where you can actually go over to the right side after you take control of the character of Chai, and you can essentially get yourself out of the world and just skip the opening section of the game. And by opening section, I mean like the first 30 seconds where you're just walking and the game teaches you how to walk and jump and double jump and stuff. Really like cool trick for just like speed running, and it doesn't really break the game. But you also really need to go out of your way to do this skip. So I'm surprised that it's here, and I'm surprised that something like this was addressed, because like I said, you're only skipping the first like 30 seconds of the game to the first minute where like you're just walking, and you know, it's just like a nice like cool little trick that you have, and if you do it incorrectly you can fall out of the game and just fall infinitely, which has happened to me before. So like I said, I'm just surprised that this is here, and I'm not particularly a huge fan that it's here. It is what it is. It's just a cool little skip that I personally didn't feel like really needed to get patched, and I'm very curious to hear the reasoning as to why this got patched, because it's just a fun, cool little thing. Fix an additional instance where the UE4 fatal error could occur. This was another bug fix that was actually in patch 2, so they're still ironing these ones out. Fix an issue on track 7 where if the player receives a game over exactly when the final enemy of the fight is defeated, a magnet point will not be able to be grappled and prevents progress after reloading the game. An instance where the achievement saw all those hits coming might not be unlocked for players who perform parries in training mode before completing them in the level has been fixed. Pressing both light and heavy attacks together during the rhythm parry attack on the brutal in track 3 will now correctly destroy it. Interesting. Fixed a bug that sometimes displays off-screen enemy HP gauge after unpausing the game. Fixed a bug that sometimes displays off-screen enemy HP gauges after unpausing the game. Fixed a bug where some enemies would not be defeated even when their HP gauge showed 0. Also, wait a minute. Is there a way to show HP gauges on enemies? Or am I just crazy? Well, it's gotta be in there because it's here. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I'm gonna have to do some digging on that. Minor bug fixes and adjustments to photo mode, and the Scrubs unit's official paint color has been updated from blue to cyber blue in hopes of increasing its cool factor among younger audiences. They had another one like this in the first bug fix too, where it was, I gotta find it. Hold on, I gotta find it. Yeah, here it is right here. Tracks 3 and 4, Zanza's programmer salary adjusted for inflation. I love that. I love how they have like little tiny adjustments right there for their patch notes too, just for shits and giggles. It's just really funny to me. So overall, a really good patch that adds a little bit of DLC cosmetics, quality of life updates that are definitely much appreciated, and some bug fixes. And like I said, really the only issue that I have with the patch is just this one for track 1. I don't know if that's like a director thing where John wanted to like get rid of this, or if that was like a mandate for Bethesda itself, where they said like, hey, like let's scrub this out just to give this game a little bit more extra polish. There is another bug that I don't think was addressed like anywhere here that I could find, like not in this one or the second update, but like there is a skip on track 3 where you can actually use the platforming to skip the training encounter where it actually tells you how to parry properly, and the game will soft lock you because you have to actually unlock the parry in order to use it and progress further. So it just soft locks you on New Game. But for New Game Plus, obviously you don't need to go through the parry tutorial again, so you can just skip it. And someone shared this with me on YouTube, but when I tried it myself, I was not for the life of me able to do it. So it made me think that it either got patched or it was like a shadow patch at some point. But, you know, I don't think there's been any sort of like official confirmation that that specific thing has been patched, so. But like I said, is what it is. So like I said, it's a bit unfortunate because it's just a cool, fun skip that they just have, but they just got rid of it. So, you know, can't really use it for speedrunning anymore, even though this game really isn't meant for that. But just like, you know, gives you a little bit more like quality of life in terms of just going through the game a second time, you know? And that is going to be the Update 3 for Hi-Fi Rush. So what do you think of the new DLC pack? What do you think of the accessibility options? And what is your personal opinion on the Track 1 skip that they patched? Comment below, let me know what you think. And as always, if you like what you see and you want to see more coverage from me, don't forget to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button to see more. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.